It's kind of weird how in Spanish-speaking countries, some people will literally just be named Jesus. Well, not actually Jesus, it would be Jesus, but that's the same word that they use for Jesus Christ. There's some interesting exceptions to this that I'll talk about, but for the most part, in other places, they don't do this. Either because they're not Christian and they don't care about Jesus as much, or they are Christian and they view naming people after him as a taboo. One interesting theory for why this naming practice originated in Spain has to do with Islam. As you may know, Muhammad is the most common name in the world because in Islam, the Prophet Muhammad isn't considered God like Jesus is in Christianity. So being named after him isn't considered blasphemous. And for centuries, large parts of Spain were under Muslim rule, and maybe this changed the way they thought about their naming practices. Like maybe Spanish Christians were like, if they can name their kids after their guy, why can't we name our kids after ours? And what's even more interesting is that in Muslim majority countries, it's actually pretty common to name your kids after Jesus. It seems kind of counterintuitive, but in Islam, Jesus or Isa is considered a prophet kind of like Muhammad. So maybe Spanish Muslims name their kids after Jesus, and then Spanish Christians were like, hey, that's kind of cool. And the name Jesus is also somewhat common in Portuguese-speaking countries. But even in the Anglophone world, there's actually a lot of people that are sort of named after Jesus. So the name Jesus comes from Yeshua, which is a shortened form of the name Yehoshua, both Hebrew names, of course. But the name Yehoshua also developed into the name Joshua or Joshua. So if your name's Josh, you're not necessarily named after Jesus, but you and Jesus are kind of named after the same guy. So tag your friends named Jesus, Isa, or Josh, or Muhammad, or anybody, I don't really care.